Awesome. So make sure if you don't have something like a block to hold on to, find maybe a thicker pillow that you can pretty easily lift up and down over your head type of thing. We're going to do a little bit of core work from our back, and it will involve that moving of our arms while we maintain our core. So yeah, something like that. Good morning, good morning. We have Kim, Jill, Caitlin. Caitlin, good to see you. It's been a long time. Let's see. All right, we're going to get started. I'm going to mute everybody now. And we'll come to a comfortable seat. And whoops, I forgot my blocks. Take a few moments to situate yourself. Find your sitting bones comfortably rooting into whatever you're sitting on. And then as you do a little bit of movement and shifting with your hips, just give yourself that information of the contact you have. Doesn't have to be necessarily specific details, but just notice. And then come to some stillness, rooting with your hands into your legs, lengthen your sides, draw your shoulder blades onto your back, and close your eyes. And take a moment here for a full deep breath in and out of your nose. And now as you take your next couple of breaths, let your inhales help you to expand and lengthen even more. Let your exhales help you to start to find a little tone. Low belly and low ribs are engaging to support your core. Inhale to expand, lift, lengthen. Exhale to engage. Take a couple more this way, starting to notice those actions. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, engage. Then connect palms together at your heart and take a full inhale to grow taller. Exhale, bow towards your heart. Softly opening your eyes, release your hands down, and we're going to shift forward right away onto our hands and knees. And as you come to hands and knees, take a moment to move a little bit. So set yourself up really well. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Find that rotation of upper arm bones and then push to expand into the upper back. And now a little movement. So you might choose a cat and cow. You might choose a little side-to-side sway of hips or shoulders. You might decide on a little bit of movement back and forth with your hips. You decide what would help you to start to wake up, warm up through your body a little bit here for about 3 more deep breaths. You can always switch between different movements. Then as you come back to a neutral place for yourself, rotate elbow pits forward and push. Feel that expansion into the upper back, and even more so, notice a little hug in through your low ribs. Then toes are tucked under. Lift your knees just 2 inches off the ground and take a big breath right here. Keep pushing with your hands. Low ribs are drawing in, but then think of tilting your sitting bones up and squeezing your low glutes. On your exhale, your knees come back to the ground, settle hips back toward your heels into a child's pose, and take a moment to move your hips a little side to side and walk your fingertips a little further forward. Then inhale, rise back up to hands and knees, and this time rotate elbow pits forward, push, tuck toes under, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog pose, and take a big breath here. As you push from lats out through your hands, Also engage your low ribs, filling into your back body. Tilt your sitting bones up. So same actions we just took in that core work, we can turn it into the same action in your down dog. Take a big deep breath. And then walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Feet are in or hip distance apart and parallel. Lift and spread your toes and then root them down. Inhale and lengthen part way. From here, knees are a little bent. Think of keeping shins stacked straight up and down. Send your sitting bones up, extend your heart, and now reach your arms out. So you have a long reach through arms, plug in with shoulder blades. Tone, low belly, low ribs. Take another big breath right here. Now squeeze your glutes to inhale, rise all the way up, reach your arms up overhead, and exhale, hands come to your heart. Pause with eyes closed to tune into a deep breath. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, bent knees to fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. From your fold, feel free to use blocks underneath your hands here if you would like. Step your right foot back into your lunge. Center off with your hips and extend your heart forward. Take a big full breath. Long through your spine. As you breathe, push your hands into either the floor or your blocks and expand your low ribs up. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, step your left foot back. Center off with your hips and then extend, lengthen. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, low ribs hug in. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, step your left or your right foot back rather into your lunge. Hands come up to the highest point of whatever you're using and work your front leg towards straight. Then we're going to move in and out of a lunge here in a moment, but first, push your left big toe mound down and wrap your left hip back. Give your right knee a little bend and send your sitting bones up. And now as you inhale and bend into your front knee, keep that wrapping action of your left hip back. Exhale, work your front leg towards straight, back knee bent. Inhale, bend into your front knee. Exhale, work front leg towards straight. And keep going with your breath here a few more times. Just notice that tendency for the left hip to shift forward. So you're going to actively keep it moving back, even as you bend into your knee joint and straighten your knee joint. Inhale, bend into your front knee and step forward. Exhale, left foot steps back into your lunge. Pause and find that action of your right hip wrapping back. Work your front leg towards straight. Big toe mound pushes down. Keep your hip moving back. Extend your heart and even bend your back knee, tilt your sitting bones up. Inhale, bend into your front knee. And exhale, work front leg straight, back knee bent. Inhale, bend your front knee. And exhale, straighten. And as you keep going with your breath, again, notice that action of your right hip. Keep it wrapping back. Let the movement happen from your knee joints. One more deep breath. Inhale, bend into your front knee and step forward. Exhale, fold over your legs. From this fold, tilt sitting bones up, even as you keep a bend to your knees. Just a little bit of a micro bend. It doesn't have to be a big bend, or it can be a big bend. Take a moment to nod your head, shake your head, working through any stuck stuff through your neck, your shoulders, maybe some ear to shoulder. Then plant your hands and step all the way back, downward facing dog pose. Take a full breath. Inhale, come forward into a plank. Feel free to use your knees on the ground here if you would like. Rotate elbow pits forward and push. Extend your front. Think of your collarbones moving forward, but keep control with your low belly and your low ribs. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale, curl up and open as deeply as your body is ready for. So you might come up to a high cobra or a low cobra or anywhere in between. Big deep breath. Exhale, push all the way back into your child's pose or a puppy pose variation if that works better for your body. Take a couple big breaths. Shift through the hips. Inch the fingertips further forward. Big breath. Inhale, rise to hands and knees. Rotate elbow pits forward and push. Tuck toes under. Stay pushing with your hands as you lift. Your knees just 2 inches off the ground. Take a big deep breath. And again, notice your low ribs engaging, sitting bones lifting, low glutes squeezing. Big deep breath. On your exhale, hips lift up and back, downward facing dog pose. Take a full breath and try to find those same actions here. Rotate elbow pits forward and push. Send your sitting bones up. Squeeze low glutes. Squeeze low belly. Low ribs draw in. And then walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. Inhale, reach and rise, coming all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands come together at your heart. And again, close your eyes. Tune into your full, deep inhale and exhale in and out of your nose. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, bend your knees into your chair pose. As you come to your chair pose, think of rotating your inner thighs in, back, and broad. And then glutes, wrap down and under. As you take another couple of breaths, shift your weight back onto your heels a little bit. Your toes will feel a little bit light, but then you're gonna still set your toes down. Engage low glutes, low belly. Engage low ribs, and then lift your chest up higher. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way. Exhale to fold. Plant your fingertips, you're stepping right foot back into your lunge. Inhale, reach up and rise, coming to your lifted lunge, centering with your hips. You can always have your back knee on the ground for this. Take a big deep breath. As you start to engage low belly and low ribs, also lift up with your chest. Lift up and open through your heart space. Hands come behind to clasp. Let's get a little more shoulder opening. Press palms together. Lift your shoulders up and back. Hug your elbows back. Take a deep breath. Exhale, release your hands. Find blocks at the front of your mat. Work your front leg towards straight. Little bend to your back knee. So now as you wrap your left hip back until your sitting bones up, extend your heart. We're going to get a little more calf stretch. So lift up with the entire front of your foot on your left leg. So the ball of your foot is lifted, you're up onto your heel. Keep your left hip wrapping back, sitting bones tilting up. Take a big deep breath. Now plant your foot, keeping your left leg straight here. Big push of your big toe mound, your hip is wrapping back. Right hand comes to your block, come to the floor if you would like. Extend your heart forward and begin to revolve. Turn your belly and your heart to the left. Left thumb into your hip crease and give it a push back. Even as you push your big toe mound down into the ground. As you turn your belly and your heart to the left, take a big deep breath. Maybe you stretch your top arm to the sky. Maybe you keep it at your hip or your low back. Deep inhale, long, full exhale. Next exhale, both hands come down to the front of your mat, bending into your front knee, and step back, downward facing dog pose. Rotate elbow pits forward and push, lifting sitting bones. Inhale, come forward to your plank, and again, knees can always come down. Extend longer through your front, even as you push with your hands and expand your back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, curl up and open as high as your body needs to go. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Big breath. And now walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and fold. Fingertips plant, you're stepping left foot back this time into your lunge. And you're working up into a hamstring stretch in a moment, but pause here before we come up into our lunge and wrap your right hip back. Push down with your toes and then begin to rise up, lifting your chest. And as you find that action of your hips staying back, tone your low belly, tone your low ribs, and lift your chest. Take a big deep breath. And then hands behind you one more time to clasp. Big opening through the heart space. Press palms, hug elbows, deep breath. Exhaling, hands come down to your blocks at the front of your mat and work your front leg towards straight. And now wrap your right hip back and push your right big toe mound down. Left hand on a block or the floor. Goal is to be able to find opening here. So if you find that you can't open as much with your hand on the floor, then bring it up a little ways. Wrap your right hip back and begin to set right thumb into your hip crease to help that action happen. As you stay long through your spine, turn your belly and your heart to the right. Right big toe mound stays pushing down. Maybe stretch your top arm up. Just remember, again, if you're turning down or if you're not as long through your spine, maybe keep your hand at your hip or your left hand up on something. Take a big deep breath. Exhaling, both hands come down to the front of your mat. And step all the way back into a downward dog and take a deep breath. And then lower to knees, and this time we're going to shift our legs to the side and come all the way down to sitting bones. And we're going to lower all the way onto our backs. So here's where you get to make sure that you have something that is about shoulder width with your hands to hold. And as you come all the way down to your back, you're going to set your footprints up on the floor so your knees are bent. And before you hold on to your prop, I want you to notice that neutral place for your spine. We talked about this quite a bit, where our lumbar spine, our low back needs to have a curve. So from right here, tilt your pelvis, sitting bones are tilting down, your low back has a little space. You might even be able to stick your hand underneath your low back and feel it. From that place, send your low ribs to the ground. Keeping the lumbar curve, low ribs down, keep that and find your prop, whatever it happens to be. Block or pillow up above your chest here with your arms straight. I want you to rotate elbow pits so they're trying to turn toward the wall behind you or toward your head. And then plug in with your shoulder blades. So pull them onto your back. Keep that lumbar curve and the low ribs pulling in, even as you slowly start to lower your arms toward the ground overhead. Pull your low ribs in to pull the block back up above your chest. Exhale, lower the block back down toward the ground behind you. Inhale, lift it up. Trying to keep the lumbar curve, trying to keep the low ribs pulling in the whole time. Keep going with your breath. You have 2 more full deep breaths. And then let your block or pillow come down onto your belly, if that's comfortable, or just set it aside. Take a deep breath, go ahead and relax the focus on maintaining that curve to your spine for just a moment. So we'll have one more core exercise that we'll do. One more big deep breath. And now, as you find that tilt of your pelvis to find the lumbar curve, you're going to find a squeeze of your low glutes and your low belly. Low ribs push into the ground, lift your arms up overhead, and now stay right here with your elbow pits rotating toward the wall behind you. Maintain those 2 curves to your spine, the lumbar curve and that push of your low ribs. Even think of that space in between your shoulder blades pushing into the ground. From this place, come up onto your tiptoes and just notice if anything shifted in that curve, in those curves to your spine. And now you're going to walk your right toes just a little further forward here, but keep that tilt of your pelvis and the low ribs pulling in. And then start to reach your arms back overhead. Keep those curves. So you've got the lumbar curve, you've got the low ribs pulling in, and then lift your right leg towards you, lifting your toes up off the ground. Keep that curve through your spine and touch your right toes out in front of you a little ways, and then lift them back up. And touch them out in front of you a little ways, and lift them back up. Noticing lumbar curve, low ribs drawing in. Good, one more time this way. Touch in front of you and pick back up. Now set your right toes down and touch your left toes in front. And from this place, reset your curve through the lumbar spine, your low ribs, and then begin to lift up with your left knee and lower it back down. And lift up with your left knee and lower it back down. And lift up and lower. And lift up and set your feet back down. Pick your arms back up and you can set your block or whatever you're using back down. Walk your feet out wider than your hips and drop them slowly side to side for a little bit of that reset through your nervous system with your windshield wipers. Then as you come back up to center here, pull knees up into your chest and open them wide. Aim your feet up toward the ceiling. And from this place, before you take a hold anywhere, tilt your pelvis so your sitting bones are moving down. And then you can hold on wherever you need to for your happy baby pose here with that tilt of your pelvis. So for me, if I hold on to my feet, my sitting bones start to tilt up. I have to hold on a little bit lower to make sure I can keep that lumbar curve, at least the attempt of one. Take a big deep breath and begin a little resistance. So pull down with your hands, push back with your legs into your hands. And sometimes that helps you to find that lumbar curve again. Big deep breath. And then gentle rock side to side. And then add the gentle hamstring stretch. So as you rock to the left, reach long through your left leg. As you rock to the right, reach long through your right leg. And then back into center here. Soles of feet come together if that's in your practice. Holding on to your feet with your hands, or you can set your feet all the way down if that's better for your ankles and your knees. And from here, wherever you are, think of reaching out through your thighs, lengthening through the thigh muscles. Take a big deep breath, and again, tilt your pelvis so your sitting bones are moving down. And now release your feet. We're going to cross our legs. So left leg crosses over the right. Think of the thighs crossing. And then you're going to rotate your legs to try to draw your shins more toward you. And then reach out for your shins with your hands, starting at the knee. And then draw your hands down your shins toward your ankles as far as they need to go. And then here's where you get to decide where you are in this stretch. So you can start to draw your legs toward level with each other and out to the side, or you can keep them more toward each other. You can draw your knees in toward your chest more. You can allow your heels to be more toward your glutes. So find where that stretch is for you. Maybe you'll get a good stretch through the glutes, through the hamstring connections. Take a big deep breath. This is our reclined version of our cow head pose. And then gently release your hands, release your legs. And then uncross your legs and cross right thigh over your left. And then same thing here, hands come to your knees and you start to slide your hands down your shins toward your ankles. And then you get to decide what the variation is that feels the best. Where's the stretch that helps you feel the best? Maybe hug in closer with your knees, maybe change the angle of your legs, or even let them move a little closer together. Big deep breath. And then gently release your legs, uncross them, set your footprints on the ground. And then you'll start to set yourself up into your best version of a rest. So feel free to set a bolster or a pillow underneath your legs. Feel free to grab your blanket for over the top of you. Maybe take a cactus with your arms or a tea. Begin to let yourself settle in. Let yourself come to some stillness. Begin to take a deeper breath. Start to gently add a little movement into fingers and toes. As you're ready to, bend your knees and roll to your side. And slowly push yourself back up to your seat. And bring hands together at heart center. With your eyes closed, take a deep breath. Have a peaceful, beautiful day. Namaste.